Hello, welcome to Analog Circuit Design online lecture series. Myself Rima Rawal from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. In this session, we are going to see the unit Operational Amplifiers, and in this unit, today's topic is Integrator. So, let's start this session. So, first of all, let us see what is integrator. So, the circuit in which the output voltage waveform is in the integration of the input voltage waveform is called as an integrator or integrating amplifier. That means if we use the integrator, that means at the output side, whatever the function will be received, it will be the integration of the input signal. That is called as integrator. Now, there are two types of integrators. First one is active integrator and the second one is passive integrator. So, these are the two types of integrators. Now, let us see these integrators in detail. So, first of all, let us see the active integrator using op-amp, that is the operational amplifier. So, this is the diagram of the ideal integrator. In this, in the feedback, there is a capacitor used. Now, we are going to see the ideal integrator and practical integrator. So, the difference in ideal integrator and practical integrator that we are going to see. So, in ideal integrator, in the feedback, capacitor is used, and in practical integrator, we will use capacitor along with the resistor in the feedback. That we are going to see in the next topic after this. Now, here the supply is given to the inverting terminal and the non-inverting terminal is connected to ground. Now, as we have said that this is the integrator, we will get the output function that is VO, that is equals to minus 1 by R1 CF integration of 0 to T V in T dt plus C. Here V in is the input signal, C is the integration constant, and R1 and CF are the input resistance and feedback capacitance respectively. Here the negative sign indicates that we have given the supply to the inverting terminal, so the output waveform will be 180 degree out of phase with respect to the input. So this is the circuit diagram of ideal integrator. Now let us derive the equation of this. So let us see the expression for the output voltage. So as shown in the figure, that is the circuit diagram we have seen, applying the KCL at node V2, that means here at node V2, we have taken V1 and V2 at the inverting terminal. So if we apply the KCL at node V2, we will get I1 equals to IB plus IF. You can see in this circuit, here I1 is the current flowing from the resistance R1, IF is indicated, that is feedback current flowing through the capacitor CF. So we can say that I1 equals to IB plus IF. We will give it the equation number 1. Due to high input impedance Ri of the op-amp, IB will be negligible as compared to IF. So we will get I1 equals to IF, that is I1 almost equals to IF. Let us give this as equation number 2. Now, IC, that is the capacitor current, that is given as C dVc by dt. Let us give as equation number 3. Here C is the capacitance, dVc by dt is the change of capacitance voltage with respect to time, and I1 equals to Cf dVc by dt, where Cf is the feedback capacitance using this. Okay, let us give this equation number 4. Now, I1 equals to V in minus V2 by R1 and Vc equals to V2 by VO. Using the equation 4, we will substitute the values I1 and Vc into that. So, we will get V in minus V2 by R1 that is equals to Cf d by dt of V2 by V0. Let us give this equation number 5. Now, using the concept of virtual ground, we have V2 equals to 0. So, using this value, we will get V in by R1, that is equals to Cf d by dt into minus Vo, which is equation number 7. So, we will have the equation Vo, output equation Vo equals to minus 1 by R1 Cf integration 0 to t V in dt plus C. Okay, this is the final output equation. Now, let us see the input and output voltage waveforms. So, here we are going to consider three input signals: step input, square input and triangular wave input, and we will see what output we are getting by applying this input to the integrator. So, here first of all let us see the figure A, that is the input signal, which we have taken over here the step input. So, here Vin equals to A for t greater than or equals to 0 and it is 0 for t less than 0. This is for the step input signal. Now, as we have said, the integrator, which will be the integration at the output side, when input is 0 and it is increasing with respect to time like this. So, as you can see, it will be like this, decreasing with the slope minus A. Here, minus sign is there just because we have given the input to the inverting terminal. So, for the step input, the output will be like this at the integrator. Now, let us see the next one, that is square wave input. So, here the input square wave is indicated. We have taken the interval 0 to t for one cycle period of the square wave input, and likewise with respect to time we are giving the square wave input. So, the output for the square wave input is given like this. That means the integration of each and every interval. If we consider the interval 0 to t by 2, that the amplitude is A, so that output will be Vo equals to minus 80. Then at the interval t by 2 to t, the output will be Vo equals to plus 80, so it will be positive values. Likewise, it will go minus 80 plus 80 likewise as shown in the figure. So, this is the output for the square wave input. So, as you can see over here, whenever we are giving the square wave input, at the output side, we are getting the negative triangular wave output. Now, let us see the third case, that is sine wave input. So, here in the figure, sine wave input is indicated. So, our input signal Vin equals to A sine 2 pi ft from the interval 0 to t for one cycle period, having the maximum amplitude plus A and minimum amplitude minus A. Now, we know that the integration of sine signal is cosine signal with the negative sign over here. So, here the output is negative sine wave, having the amplitude range is minus A by 2 pi f minus 2A by 2 pi f likewise. So, the output of the integrator for the sine wave input is the cosine wave. Okay. So, these are the three input output waveforms characteristics for the ideal integrator. Now, let us see what are the problems which are associated with the ideal integrator. So, in absence of any input voltage, also a large output voltage is present, which is called as the error voltage. The bias current of op-amp can charge or discharge the integrator capacitor, forcing the integrator output to ramp up or ramp down. So, because of this, the integrator cannot integrate high frequency input signals. So, whenever we have high input signals, we cannot integrate it using ideal integrator. This is the biggest problem associated with the ideal integrator. So, to overcome this, we are using the practical integrator. So, now let us see the next one, that is practical integrator. But before that, we are going to see the frequency response of an ideal integrator. So, this is the frequency response of ideal integrator. which is the graph of gain versus frequency. Here as you can see, gain decreases with increasing frequency f. Here the frequency value can be given as fb, that is equals to 1 by 2 pi r1 Cm. Okay. Now we are moving to the practical integrator. Now, as I have said earlier, in practical integrator, in the feedback, along with the capacitor, resistance is placed. So, here we are also using the inverting op-amp configuration. So, supply is given to the inverting terminal only. Here the input resistance is R1, CF is the feedback capacitance, RF is the feedback resistance. So, the main difference between ideal integrator and practical integrator is that in the feedback, ideal integrator has the capacitor only, and in practical integrator, along with the capacitor, resistance is also used in the feedback. Here R component, that is compensation resistance, is used, which value is almost equal to RF because of R1 parallel with RF configuration. Now let us see expression for the output voltage for this practical integrator case. Now for that, we have seen the circuit in which we are using the currents flowing through the each and every components. Here you can see that X is at virtual ground and the current flowing through R1 is I1. Current flowing through base terminal IB1 equals to 0. Then current flowing through the feedback capacitance is I2. And the current flowing through the feedback resistance RF is I3. Here IB2 is also equals to 0 and Vx equals to 0 due to ground potential. Now using this at the inverting terminal, we will derive the output equation. So applying KCL at node X, where we have seen that there are three currents, I1, I2, I3 and IB1. So we can say that I1 equals to I2 plus I3 plus IB1. Here IB1 is 0. So we can say that I1 equals to I2 plus I3. Now I1 equals to Vin minus Vx by R1. As Vx is 0, we will have Vin by R1, that is I1. I2 equals to Cf d Vx by minus V0 by dt. We know that Vx is 0. So we have the equation minus Cf dVo by dt. And I3 equals to Vx minus Vo by Rf, that is equals to minus Vo by Rf. So we have these values which we are going to place in the equation number 1. So we will have Vin by R1, that is equals to minus Cf dVo by dt minus Vo by Rf, that is equation number 2. Now we are taking the Laplace transform. We will have Vin of S by R1, that is equals to minus SCF V of S minus V of S by Rf, because of the Laplace transform. S is here because in Laplace domain we have S domain. So Vin of S upon R1 equals to Vo of S with negative sign in bracket SCF minus 1 by Rf, making the Rf term denominator common. This term will appear. So next term will be Vo of S, that is equals to minus Rf upon R1 into 1 plus SCF Rf into Vin of S. So Vo of S equals to minus 1 by R1 into SRF CF upon Rf plus 1 by Rf into Vin of S. So Vo of S equals to, finally we will have minus Vin of S divided by SR1 CF plus R1 by Rf. If Rf is very greater than R1, then we can neglect the term R1 by Rf, which will give the equation Vo of S, that is equals to minus 1 by SR1 CF Vin of S, but 1 by S equals to what? Integration of dt. So we will have the final equation, that is Vo of t, that is equals to minus 1 by R1 CF integration of Vin of t dt. Okay. So as you can see over here, the output is the integration of the input signal. Now let us see the frequency response of the practical integrator. So here the frequency response is given, where the diagram of the gain versus frequency is indicated. You can see the actual response on this, ideal response and ideal integrated response over here. Here in the range of FL to FB, the circuit acts like as an integrator. Alright. I hope that the integrator concept is clear to you now. We have seen two types of integrator, ideal integrator and practical integrator. Understand the difference between these two and try to remember the output equation for each and every cases. In the example purpose, this equation will be useful to you. You have to substitute the values which are given to you in the data in the output equations of ideal or practical integrated equation. Okay? These are the references. Thank you. Thank you for listening and thanks for watching.